Hello, I'm Dexter and this is Andrew, and we are from Cycle Sheffield. Cycle Sheffield is a campaign group. We campaign for a cycle-friendly Sheffield where anyone can choose to make their journey by bike. We want cycling to be inclusive, accessible and easy, not limited to the quick and the brave. And we're here to talk about our people-friendly Division Street trial, which was on Saturday the 19th and Sunday the 20th of October on Division Street.
Great atmosphere, everybody's really up for it, really positive.
Bye, have a good day.
Yeah, this is Minko and I've been here for 7 weeks. And obviously see traffic daily every day, and I would just absolutely love to pedestrianise the street. It would be absolutely amazing.
So, to talk about how this came about, this has been an aspiration amongst people like Cycle Sheffield, Living Streets, and lots of different people basically for quite some time, that we just view Division Street, and I'll also say Devonshire Street because that did get included a little bit in the trial. It's just not something that's particularly well designed for traffic, and should be considered better potentially as a pedestrian space. So, this is possibly the biggest catalyst for it. Our member Sam Wakeling put together this wonderful illustration of what it could look like, and it got a lot of attention. We actually got it into the Sheffield Star, and the response was really good. There were some negative comments, we always expect that, but looking at it, we would say that it's overwhelmingly positive. People thought it was worth trying. And we got to the point where actually we were asked, when are you going to do something about it? And we thought, well, if we're going to be asked, then we should at least give it a go, because we actually got asked by the businesses, when are you going to come and talk to us about doing a trial? Because we suggested that it needed to be done. So we did. We went and met with, we invited all the businesses to come and meet with us at the Brewdog, which is one of the bars on Devonshire Street. And we had quite a few people turn up, and also all of the ward councillors came along to talk to us about the possibility of doing this. And it was, again, a very positive experience. People really wanted us to do something, give it a go. So we put together a plan, and we put it to the council, and we asked, can we do it for International Car Free Day? And they said no. But they did have good reasons. There were a lot of other things on that day. So we asked them to give us a date, and they came up with the 19th and 20th of October. Basically we said, yeah, we'll do it. We will get our people on the ground, and you can get your people on the ground, and we'll give it a trial. So that was basically where we got to on the day.
So why did we do it? Why did we want to try and make Division Street a people-friendly space? Important to note, it wasn't really about cycling, as you may have seen on the video. The happy side effect was that there were improved conditions for cycling up and down Division Street, and lots of people did it on the day. But we were more interested in creating streets which prioritise people over motor vehicles. There are increasing concerns about air pollution, the climate emergency, motor traffic dominated streets, and more talk about how to get people travelling actively. We wanted to show how these issues could start to be addressed quickly and fairly cheaply. We also wanted to demonstrate there's public support for these kind of changes, and we wanted to get people to think about how we use our public space. Should we use our public spaces primarily for moving and storing private motor vehicles?
We'll probably move on to the next pictures, that's okay. So this is part of what people thought, so we've scraped some comments off of Twitter to say people were really in favour of it, to sort of talk about how they felt that they were using the space when they were given the opportunity to do it differently. And we'll move on to the next one quickly here. That is not it. Have I overshot?
Yes.
I might have overshot a little bit. But some of the images that you saw in the video, we had somebody come along doing chalking on the street with children, and something you just literally cannot do when there's cars driving up and down. And so in that respect, it was an opportunity to demonstrate how the space is used. Cars simply, for more than 90% of their time, they don't do anything. They just sat motionless, and that's not just congestion. It's around storage and the fact that we invest a lot into them for them to do not really that much. So to us, it's a sense of wasted space, wasted capacity, wasted designation when it can be given over for a lot more. There's also the issue about boost for businesses. One of the popular misconceptions is that cars are essential for businesses to thrive. Certainly we understand in a city like Sheffield, a lot of people do travel in and out of the city by car, but what happens in the city centre isn't all just that. So if we take a look at things like people who visit businesses, in reality around 7 to 10% of the business's footfall is based sort of solely on cars, and when you remove cars from an area, it actually improves businesses. That's something that's come out of some studies and reports, particularly around things like the pedestrian pound, which comes from Living Streets, and we'll probably try and get a link sent out for people to go and take a look at those reports themselves. We sort of hear a lot of suggestions from people. One of the biggest criticisms that we got for the trial isn't that we messed up the road network, it's that we didn't do enough. They wanted us to put trees and planters and markets and jugglers and buskers. That's a lot for us to put on for a weekend, but it really sort of shows that people had an opportunity to think, what would I really want to see on this street? And that's sort of one of the big reasons we got into it.
Okay. So what next? So for Division Street, we've got a meeting with the council at their Economic and Wellbeing Scrutiny Committee, which is in the middle of November, where we will discuss the trial with councillors and council officers and talk about next steps in order to make it a more permanent feature. And obviously we're not just interested in doing this for Division Street. Most streets in Sheffield should look like that. So we're keen to work with other community groups. For example, Sharravale Road, we've been contacted by the Green parents at the school there about how they can do something similar on Sharravale Road, so we'll want to help out with that as well. So lastly, I thought we should talk a little bit about the future of mobility in cities, seeing as that's what this is supposed to be about. A lot of discussion about the future of mobilities in cities is focused around technological solutions or improvements to moving a single person from A to B in a motorised vehicle, for example electric or self-driving cars, which may resolve one issue with cars like exhaust emissions. However, it overlooks the inefficiencies of using private vehicles to move people around. Roads are clogged with single occupancy vehicles which then need to be stored at destinations or relocated elsewhere for storage until it is needed again. In dense urban locations, this is very inefficient and poor economic use of space. Active travel, which isn't necessarily slow compared to congested rush hour traffic, provides myriad benefits in terms of space, health, productivity and personal well-being that is incredibly valuable, a value that is often overlooked and misunderstood. And finally, the future of mobility is better enabled walking, cycling and public transport, and the space for this will come from the removal of private car lanes and storage.
Yeah, and I think I just want to add to this, just finish. If you're not happy with the roads that are around you and the roads that you use and you want to see some change, ask, because we did, and we got a crack at it. So the political will has probably never been better than it is now. That's about it.
Thank you very much.